Good afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Susan McCord. Today's topic is 10 big red flags not to ignore on a date. Number 1, their checklist is like an interview. Sometimes you go on a date and people are just so talkative, but it's more about they're asking you question after question about who you are and some of the things that they expect in their life. This can come across as very controlling. Number 2, they talk about their ex in a negative way. When someone brings up their ex on the first couple of dates, it's not a good start because what's happening is they're not over them. They're either angry at them, they miss them, or there's just unresolved scenario that hasn't been fixed. And then you're going to have to come in and be a part of that equation. This is something to be very, very concerned about, especially if they're talking about them in a negative way. Because this means that they're pointing blame, they're not taking ownership for their part in what transpired in their breakup. And the only way you move on to a healthier existence after a difficult breakup is to take your part and dissect it. What could I do better? Number 3, they bring up sexual discussions very quickly. This is usually an indicator that they're not there for a relationship, potential relationship. They're there for sexual purposes. If you are looking for a potential committed partnership, this is not the first thing that you'll talk about. This is the first thing you talk about when you're looking to get laid or to have a sexual, intimate relationship with somebody. You want to get to know them and see if there's a connection. Number 4, they are adamant that they don't want to get married. If this is really important to you, please hear this loud and clear. Because it's not up to you to come into any new situation thinking you can change them. Because you're the one that's going to walk away hurt and mad when things don't work out. So many people don't really listen to what's being said in the early stages. And then 2-3 years later, they find out, okay, well, they did say it on the first date. So please hear them. If you want to get married and they don't, walk away. It doesn't mean you have to be angry about it. You just say to them, okay, thank you. I'm looking for something different than you are. Number 5, they do not want children under any circumstances. If this, again, is a very, very number 1 on your list about what you want in your life, you are not going to change their mind. And even if you were able to 5 years later change their mind, you ultimately know that this wasn't something they wanted. So it's always going to be a problem in your relationship. But the first thing you have to think about is that when you go into a new situation with somebody, that you have similar things that you're looking for. Not wanting children, but you want children, is a deal breaker. Number 6, you're very attracted to them, but your gut instincts are telling you to run. Please always listen to those instincts. They are your biggest guide, your best friend, and you should never ignore it. There's something that your instincts are telling you that's off with this person. Number 7, you are completely opposite in your values, your morals, your future goals, who you are as a person. Opposites may attract, but most of the time they don't stay together long term. In the beginning, it's a little exciting because they're so different to you. But you have to have some shared interests, some things that you feel the same way about to make a relationship work long term. Number 8, they try to lure you in with over-the-top love bombing. They are excited to have you there, so they push the envelope with things like flattery and gifts and taking you out fine dining and all the great things that we all want in the beginning of a new relationship. The problem is this is a form of manipulation, and they end up pulling you in, and then a little bit later on, they already have you there. So now they don't have to work so hard. So you're in there under false pretense. So be very aware of anybody who moves too quickly in this neck of the woods here. That leads me into number 9. They come in hot and fast. Anybody who watches my shows regularly knows I have this thing about in fast in any situation, because it usually means out just as fast. Don't get caught up in them being flamboyant and wanting you to meet the family. They say, oh, we should move in together very quickly. They may even talk about marriage in the first couple of months. This is something to be very, very aware of, because people who do this usually run away pretty quickly. So they've got you in, they've made you believe this is special, this is great, and then they run away just as quickly as they came in. Real love takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. Yes, you might fall in love with somebody quicker than you ever have before, but that's usually a lot of infatuation as well. So don't get caught up in all that. Number 10, they don't respect your boundaries. They want to control your independence. Sometimes when you come into a new relationship, you've got a full life and you're happy with who you are. Sometimes people just aren't okay with that, and they want to squash that down a bit so that they have a little bit more power over their time with you. Be very aware of somebody trying to pull you into their world and take you away from yours. This is something that happens a lot. You've all heard the stories, or you've maybe been there yourself, where you've let go of your friends or you've let go of your family to be there for somebody else. Don't do this. The right partner will understand and want to share that with you, just as you want to share that with them. The more you date, the more aware you'll become of some of these red flags we've just talked about. You'll be able to see them pretty clear quickly because you're aware of them. You can see these traits in people. Are they sincere? Are they just there for sexual purposes? What is it that they want with me? This is why it's so important to learn lessons from each time you are with somebody and sort of analyze it after each date. Okay, what could I have done different? What would have been a better scenario for me to do here? Some people make the mistake of thinking some character traits are green flags when they're actually not. Sometimes people think, oh, they're so confident, when actually they're arrogant. They're charming, or are they manipulative? They're protective, or is it control? Some of them are just out for whatever they can get for them for the time being. So understand when someone is there for the right reasons. Someone is there because they're looking for love like you are. It's just sounding like a lot in one go here, but you will be able to see the sincerity in somebody pretty quickly once you've trained yourself in this place. If you always respect yourself and have your boundaries in place, you will repel negative people. So whenever in doubt, just understand that when a new partnership is going in the right direction, it flows. There's just a nice happiness to it. There's not a lot of questions. You communicate, you talk about what you want. You're on par with what you want. You're not having to change yourself or change them to make it a good fit. It just is. So please, please be aware of all these red flags, because you know at the end of the day what's right and what's wrong. But sometimes what we do is we ignore them because we just want to have a little fun. But before long, we're invested with the wrong person once again. Thank you so much for tuning in to Dear Sybersue. Please leave any comments, please subscribe, and click like on the video. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Bye-bye.